everyone, welcome back. This is Fantasy Girl here, and today I actually have some free time for a change to sit down and really get to doing the keynote, or I guess the summary for the keynote for everything that we found out about Endwalker. So this is actually the first bit of information that we've gotten about Endwalker since the last showcase a few months ago, and I'm not disappointed. I guess we can consider this to be a part 2, and as I'm sure that we get closer to the reveal date, we're going to get more and more information, but here I'm satisfied with everything that we got so far, including the brand new pub area, the new job, some new locations, and so much more. So this is going to be me just quickly talking over everything that we found out and just summing it all up in one nice little package. So the first thing that we got, which I'm very, very happy about, which is probably my favorite part of the whole keynote, was the fact that we got the new trailer for Endwalker. So we did get a teaser trailer for it before a few months ago, and after watching the two of them side by side, at least the similar parts, I suppose, that were in both of them, and to be honest, it really did feel like the first part was very unfinished. It felt incomplete, and I get it. I mean, it was supposed to be a teaser trailer, but everything about the music and especially was, it just did not feel as satisfying as it did when I saw this one. And it was gorgeous. We saw a bunch of scenes that I was not expecting, such as like with Justinian and Vitra. We saw him doing like the skydiver. We just saw so much about it, and I do plan on doing a video of more a in-depth analysis of everything that we saw in the trailer, and maybe just some points that and predictions that I would really like to point out. But yeah, so that is the trailer. You can actually see me geeking out over it. I did like a live reaction when the trailer came out, so if you want to see me completely freaking out about it, you can just go down below to the description and just see what you think. But otherwise, moving on. So after Yoshi-P came out, he was dressed in the new job, which is going to be the Reaper. So since the showcase, it was revealed that it was going to be a DPS job that was going to be the second job after we found out about Sage. And yeah, I'm not disappointed. I was honestly banking for a long time that it was going to be a Templar. Mostly because Yoshi-P once said that he was never planning on revealing like a necromancer job, because I guess bringing back the dead was just something that none of the team felt comfortable with doing. I don't know, but I guess it's a close second. So about the Reaper job. So this is going to be a melee DPS job, and the weapon is of course going to be the scythe. So it's a two-handed scythe. So it's not going to be like this kind of scythes that you use to gather as a botanist. This one here is going to be a lot bigger and a lot more deadly. And actually, he revealed that Xenos is actually going to be seen using the scythe for the first time in patch 5.55, which is coming out in a few days, so look forward to that part. So yes, this is a melee DPS, and it will be sharing all its gear with the Dragoon. So the requirements for this job are actually pretty simple. All you need is the Endwalker game, and you have to have at least one job up to level 70, because the starting level is going to be at 70 for this job as well. As for this job itself, it wields a scythe for dynamic close quarter combat, and allows you to call upon an avatar from the void to join in battle. So that little ghostly creature that you see behind them is going to be your avatar, and you can actually summon it to help you in battle, I guess kind of like in the forms of an Eggy. And you can also serve yourself as a host for its avatar, so it's almost like it's possessing you and fighting at your side as well as fighting inside of you, or I guess something along those lines. This job was created for this particular game to be unique, and because there is no other job like it in all the Final Fantasy series. I guess the closest would probably be the Necromancer, at least in terms of aesthetics. As for where to unlock it, you just have to head off to Udal. So if you want to start off the game as a Reaper, then you just have to make sure that you're inside Udal like when the shutdown starts. And apparently the two of them were even joking the whole time, saying that Yoshi-P left his avatar back in the green room, so that's fun to see that. As for the story itself, so this here, I know it's been mentioned many times before, but this here is going to be the finale for both the story of Heideling, Zodiark, and the Ascians. So this here is going to be wrapping up the entire story. They had mentioned before that they originally planned on the Hydaelyn and Zodiac story ending with 7.0, but at this point it felt like maybe the story was going on a little bit too long, and maybe now was a good time to actually go ahead and put an end to it. So they talked a little bit more about what they revealed in the showcase. Yes, this is going to be the final for Hydaelyn and Zodiac, and the story will end with the ending of 6.0 main story. However, after that, in 6.1 and onwards, they're going to be setting up a brand new storyline for a new adventure, probably new foes, new surprises waiting for us, so I'm really looking forward to that. And also, moving on to the second part, which is the second city that we'll be getting. As I'm sure you remember, Razathan was revealed to be the first city. It's going to be the smaller one. But here, for the new hub city, such as for Ishgard, Kugane, and the Crystarium, we have Old Sharlayan. Not regular Sharlayan, Old Sharlayan. So we're actually going to be going across the sea and finally visiting the city that we've heard so much about since, not even A Realm Reborn, since 1.0. And just as a quick reminder, it was Kryl who first suggested that she go to Sharlayan. She was the one who volunteered to do it because the fact is that things are quickly starting to heat up. Everything is starting to fall apart and look really bad. And so she decided that maybe now we should go ahead and see if we can recruit Sharlayan's aid because we need all the help we can get. And if there's any place on Earth that can help us, it would probably be Sharlayan with all the knowledge that they have. Now, these guys aren't exactly known for helping people out, or rather, they don't like to cooperate and play nice with the rest of the world. In their eyes, they're the historians of the world. It's their job to just record history. They're not allowed to get involved in any kind of problems with other nations. It was for this reason that the people of Idyllshire, like the original people who first built Sharlayan in the Dravanian hinterlands, that was why they left, because they didn't want to be involved in any kind of fighting or wars going on with Garlemald. So it seems that here it's finally coming to a head. The fire is probably really going to be lit under them, especially since we have the end of the world coming. So hopefully even they should realize that maybe just this once they should help out. Though judging from what we saw in the last trailer, it really doesn't seem like that's going to start off, at least not at first. But finally, we will be able to visit the city, and this is especially important because when Yoshi-P and the team first took over the idea for Final Fantasy XIV, there were originally the 6 starting cities. So we had the first cities of Limsa Lominsa, Gridania, Udal, and then of course there was Ishgard, Alamigo, and Sharlayan. And now it really does feel full circle because all of them are now going to be unlocked. We'll be able to visit all of these special cities, and it's really going to come together, and I can't wait for that. They also ended up showing a picture of a manor, and this is going to be playing an important part in the storyline as well. And if I had to guess, I would say that maybe this was Alphinaud and Alisaie's home. Like the manor was their childhood home, it's where they grew up, and probably going to serve as some kind of base or something, because I really do think that we're going to be confronting their father. We still don't know anything about their mother, so hopefully we do find out a little more information about her and maybe the rest of the Livier family. But I do think that their father is going to be playing a major role in this upcoming expansion, so of course I think it's going to be a good place, maybe like Fort Tom's Manor. So it's kind of be where we'll be able to at least set up base here in Sharlayan. They also talked a little bit more about some of the music that we were hearing during the trailer, as well as a little bit more of what's going to be inside Endwalkers. And the main theme actually took them up to 3 days to actually write, compose, and put together, which is very impressive, at least until you remember that Equilibrium for Sophia, that was written in about 2 hours. So I guess they actually had a lot more time here to actually work on the main theme, just entire 3 days. So yeah, good for you on that. So also there's supposed to be a lot of hidden meaning inside the main theme, and I can't wait to find out more about the lyrics. I'm trying to find the lyrics and it's kind of hard to find it right now. Anyway, I'm sure I'll find it later on. Now, the main vocal for the theme is Sam Carter. However, Amanda Arkin, who also sung Tomorrow and Tomorrow, was also clearly heard in the trailer as well, mostly during the parts of Charlian. And my favorite part about the whole main theme that we're going to be getting is that you actually hear traces of the other mains from the other games. Like, we heard Heaven's Ward, we heard Stormblood's theme kind of mixed in there as well. I loved all of that, and it's really a nice callback to tie in with all the other games. Now, as for some of the other characters, and we did get a quick review of those in the trailer as well. We did see Estinian. He was going to be playing a major part of this, and it looks like he's actually had a slight hairdo change. It's now pulled back into a ponytail. Apparently they joked about how his hair just seems to keep phasing through the armor, and that bugs Yoshi-P, so they just decided to just put it up so he won't have to complain about that. And it's funny because they also joked about how he seems to tone down all of his badass moves and attacks when other people are around. I guess he's just trying to tone it down and think of their feelings. But hey, you know, he's been a wanderer for a while now, ever since the end of the Dragonsong War, so, I mean, he's been kind of jobless for a time, so I guess joining the Scions is actually a pretty good career move on his part. And also, this was a big surprise because we are getting another dragon added into the mix as well. So this here is Vitra. This was confirmed by Estinian when he called the dragon by name. Vitra is another one of the first broods. So out of the 7, we've heard 6 of them being mentioned. The last one is still up for debate, so we don't know what happened with that last one. But Vitra is going to be appearing in the game as well, and apart from that, we really don't know too much more about him. We've seen what he looks like in the game. All that else they were able to mention about Vitra was that out of all of Midgard's children, he's supposed to be the youngest. He or she, like one or the other, we don't know yet, but the important thing is Vitra is going to be playing a role in this, and I think it's really appropriate that Estinian is going to be there, like maybe as kind of like partners in crime. I don't know what else for yet, but can't wait for that. All the other Scions are going to be part of it as well. They did show us more artwork, and we did see most of the Scions as well. And there was actually one more character that they did make reference to. They didn't call him by name yet, but I think it's a pretty good idea about who he is. At least that's my opinion, but apparently he does have a very important role to play in this game as well, which I do hope so. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at the new areas. So as I'm sure you remember, we were told before that we were going not only to the moon, but we were going to be going to Thannar and Razat Hand, and even to Golomal. So we actually got a couple more places that we really kind of weren't expecting in some times, but the next area is known as Labyrinthos. Really not sure about what to make of this place. At first I was convinced like it was another part of Charlian, or like maybe another part of the island, but it doesn't seem to be like that. The buildings all look really ancient, but there's a strange kind of technology just kind of mixed in as well. I mean, it might not look like it, but this place is actually underground. And the sky is like a very decorative dome with an artificial sun. So I'm guessing like maybe this might actually be part of the moon. Like maybe it's like buried underground or something, and I don't know, maybe the people there would be able to explain more of it. We also got a quick look around of some of the area involving Thannar. So we've seen more of it in the trailer as well. And it's supposed to be more of a piratey kind of nation. A little bit like Limsa, but more of a Middle Eastern kind of feel to it. That's kind of the impression that I got of it. It's definitely more subtropical feels, and I hope that people are going to enjoy looking at it now, like as it is, because chances are it's not going to look this nice for long, at least judging from the devastation that was raining down. And they also gave us a new area. They didn't say anything else about it, just that they did show a picture, and it looks like some floating island gardens, almost a little bit like Ilmeg. And I have a theory of what that place is. It's just an idea that I had, and I will be talking more about it in another video once I'm done with this one. But that's also going to be another location, and for some reason they are being very mysterious about what this particular land could be. Moving on, they mentioned a little bit more about Golomal, and then the moon. So the new area on the moon is called Mare Lamentorium. So first thing that you notice is that this is all one area, and there is apparently air and gravity here for a reason. there seems to be like this beautiful castle. There's like caves on the moon with plants. And then there's this thing here. This, if any Final Fantasy VIII fans are watching this, then I'm sure you probably made the connection by now, but this looks an awful lot like Ragnarok. So Ragnarok is supposed to be the airship from Final Fantasy VIII. Apparently it was lost in space for a long time, or like attached to the satellite. It's a long story for there. I have to go back and play through that again. But I instantly recognize it, and it looks like this spaceship crashed here. I'm guessing that's how we get to the moon, but again, I'll talk more about that in a predictions video. But it is a beautiful palace, and as you can see, it's very similar to Emiratian technology, or I guess architecture. So I'm guessing one of the Asians probably built this place, so I'm looking forward to learning more about it. Okay, moving on to some enemies. So they did mention a little bit more about some enemies that we are going to be getting, and this here is in the form of the Magus Sisters. So these three sisters, they have appeared in a couple games before, back in Final Fantasy IV as well as Final Fantasy X, but these three sisters are supposed to be completely original. So I don't know what they mean about that with the Magus Sisters. Hopefully they will be on our side, but clearly that's not going to be the case. They're going to be enemies, and I'm wondering, like, maybe they're going to be in the form of some kind of primals or something. So looking forward to that. So really looking forward to seeing what they do with them. All we know for sure is that they're going to be a completely original take on the Magus Sisters. And moving on to the next tribe. So we already got some information about one of the tribes that we'll be getting with the expansion. Now in the last showcase, they did reveal one of the beast tribes that were going to be revealed. Here is the second. So this here is the Loporets, or I guess you could call them moon bunnies, because that's that's literally what they look like. They are they look just like the naming ways like from Final Fantasy IV. So I'm guessing that these little guys are going to be up on the moon. All that we know for sure about them is that they are adorable, and they are apparently going to be playing a very important role in Endwalkers as well. My bet is that they are going to be moon dwellers. Okay, so moving on to the Alliance raid. So they kept a lot of information about the Alliance raid secret. In fact, they kept everything secret. We had nothing to go on. The only clue that they were able to give us before all this was that this was supposed to be an original story unique to Final Fantasy XIV. So unlike with Your High or with the Return to Evil East quest lines and everything, this here is a completely original story. And we finally have some information about it. So the new Alliance raid is going to be called Myths of the Realm. So this is actually going to be an exploration of the history of the 12. So that is something I never saw coming, but this is an original concept of the game, and apparently we're going to be learning some very interesting information about the gods, so about the 12 all together. Are we going to be getting married in this? Because that's clearly where all bonding ceremonies take place, and is the temple going to transform in every way? They did reassure us that no, it's not going to transform, though they do like big giant robots. Okay, so we also have a release date. So this might actually change depending on how well they're able to get everything out. I personally think that that's going to be the official date. So the official release date is going to be November 23rd, 2021. So this here is actually going to be about 6 months away. Yeah, they tried very hard to shoot it for October at the earliest, but they had just so much to add into the game. They had so much content that they just couldn't do it. They just could not get it out early enough. So the earliest that they could do it was November 23rd. That's not including the early release date. We got about 6 months of free time between the two to get pumped up for doing everything for Endwalker, and I hope it's going to be worth the wait. It better be worth the wait, that's all I can say. A couple more information that they did talk about, including the Oceana data center, that's going to be opening up as well. And this was a really big deal because people have been asking for this for a long time, and even though the Yoshi-P did state that they were not planning on releasing any other races for the game, but it is confirmed that male Vieira are going to be coming out with Endwalkers, so we are getting bunny boys. Yeah, I did a live reaction when I first saw that too, and I just love them. The design is spectacular, and I'm glad that we finally have a picture to put to like these bunny boys, like the male Vieira. They also mentioned that they are planning on doing female Rothgar in the future. They just ran out of time to actually put it inside of Endwalkers, so it's a good chance that that will be released probably in 7.0 at the very latest. And I think that should be it. So that is actually all the new information that we ended up getting out. They did mention briefly about the special collector's editions, like the digital pre-order gifts and everything that you can actually get into the game. I did talk about that in another video, the previous video about the new merchandise, so I won't go and repeat myself about all of that. So you can go ahead and check that out if you're curious. But yeah, that does look like pretty much everything that we need to know about the game, at least everything that we know so far. The only thing left to really talk about is the artwork. So this here is going to be the cover art, and it's as stunning as it always is. It looks like it's beautiful, the colors and everything. I actually put the picture of it like on my phone now so I can just admire it every time. So as you can see, we see most of the Scions here. We see the Warrior of Light standing there. We have Alize, Thancred, Urianger, Yastola, Alphino. It looks like Estinians mixed in there as well. And I love the fact that Tataru is out in front. Like, I just love her. Like, she's like the real leader of the Scions, which in a way, I guess she is. Also mixed in, of course, is Xeno. So he's going to be playing a big role in this. And finally, we have this character up here. So I can't really see who that person is. It looks like a girl. And I have no clue who she is or where she came from. If I had to guess, I would say that she's probably going to be the special character that we're going to be introduced to in 5.55. Because apparently we are going to be meeting a very special character in 5.55 who is going to be a major character of Endwalker. So my bet is her. Who she is entirely, I don't know yet. Probably, I think that maybe either a member of the royal family of Garlemald, or maybe like some other kind of Anassian, or maybe even she's Vana, like a piece of Heidelin's heart or something like that. There's so many stories that we can go into, and I can't wait for patch 5.55 to come out and maybe give us a clue, so hopefully we do see her then. If not, she'll definitely be appearing in Endwalker. But otherwise, everyone, I think that should be it for right now. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all looking forward to everything that's coming out for Endwalkers. I'm already like so pumped up and excited. And I think I'm going to leave it for there. So I think this is also going to be the last video regarding the Digital Fan Festival. Apart from the fact that I am doing an in-depth analysis of the trailer, which will be coming out at a later date. But if you guys have any kind of theories or suggestions, any kind of predictions that you would like me to look in upon, just please drop a comment down below. I'd love to know more. And I'm going to be needing a lot of ideas for videos because we have 6 months in between of Endwalkers and everything to kind of kill. So until next time, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. Once again, this is Fantasy Girl signing out.